What's going on, guys?
Today I want to give my opinion on the zero turn versus the stand on and the differences that I've found uh, between the two.
Yo, hang tight. So I broke out the whiteboard here and I thought I'd jot down a few things. I did kind of a pros and cons list on the standard and zero turn. So if you want to pause and read that or refer back to it, there you go. But I'm just going to go ahead and kind of walk around the mowers and talk about them and give my opinion about both of them. So first off, we're going to talk about price. This particular zero turn right here is pretty much the Mac Daddy of them all. You know, as far as gas engines, this is a $13,000 machine. The Z2 over here is not the Mac'd out version, but if I were to get basically like a Z3X, you're looking at about 10 or 11,000. So you're looking at about a couple of $1,000 difference to get a Mac'd out zero turn versus a Mac'd out standard. As far as the weight between the two different machines, these two right here is about 400 pounds difference. The Z3X, I want to say, weighs about 1,250, 1,300 pounds, depending on what size deck you get. And this machine right here is about 1,440 to 1,500 pounds, depending on what size deck you get. So substantial weight difference there. So I have the mowers side by side right here to show you that how much longer that 3200Z is versus the Z2 right here. So what this is going to do with the standard is allow you to get in much tighter spots in ditches, and even on the trailer you can probably put 3 of these versus only 2 of those on the trailer, not to mention the weight savings.
Also wanted to talk about safety between these two different machines. In my opinion,
The standard is much safer in a lot of applications. If you're in a ditch or close to a riverbank or something and you lose control, it's very easy to just jump off this machine and let the machine go. As for this, the proper way to do this is to have the roll bar on and your seat belt in on the mower with the control arms closed in over your lap. If you lose control on this machine, you're going to have a difficult time unbuckling, which most people don't wear seat belts on it, but you'll have to open the arms and then jump off and hope this big machine doesn't crush you. That's one thing I've noticed between the two. This is definitely a safer machine in a lot of different situations. I also feel a lot safer on the standard going up hills, steep hills especially, because the engine's on the front and the weight pretty much transfers that way. And going uphill on this, the weight's pretty much on the back and it transfers to the back. So it's a lot scarier feeling on this machine versus this. And it all goes back to where you can just jump off if you needed to. It gives you a little bit more confidence going up hills on them. One of the things I really like about the standard, whenever you're doing properties and there's trash or garden hoses or trampolines in your way and you have to stop your zero turn and open up your control arms, put your brake on, climb off, go do what you have to do, open your gate or whatever, you know, get back on the mower. It just makes it that much more difficult. With this, you don't even have to set the park brake or anything. You just hop off, grab it, open a gate, pick up trash, move garden hoses, whatever you have to do. Makes the day a whole lot more efficient when instead of climbing up and down on this machine. So as far as the zero turn, whenever you mow all day on this thing, this particular machine has the suspension on it, a good seat and everything, so that makes things a whole lot better. But your typical zero turn, I've noticed in the past, if you do 8, 10, 12 hours on it all day long, grinding, at the end of the day, your lower back and all of your back is like finished. I have lower back pain, upper back pain. My hips would get really, really stiff and hurt all the time because of long days on the zero turn. When I got the standard, I instantly felt better in that situation. My lower back quit hurting, my upper back quit hurting, my hips didn't hurt anymore. With that said, the standard, I had a lot of hand fatigue right here when you're controlling this, all day long like this with your hands and you're moving them around all the time. I had a lot of fatigue in my hand and a lot of hand numbness, so that's a problem. So down here they got the platform with the shock and everything. It's pretty comfortable. It's got enough room and everything, not like the Z1 where your feet are pretty much together real close. So it's very comfortable. The problem with this is that all of your weight when you're bouncing up and down on this machine is going straight down to your feet. All the energy is getting transferred right down to that platform, which it's absorbing a good bit, from the shock and everything. But with that said, it's just like the zero turn. Even though with the shocks and everything, you're bouncing all day, all of that energy is going to your lower back and your upper back. You're getting jarred around everywhere. With this, everything seems to go down to your feet and your hands, because you kind of want to hold on. You're always self-consciously holding on to this as you're hitting bolts and as you're hitting bumps and stuff. So your hands and feet are pretty much wasted by the end of the day, at least in my experience. I have a history of carpal tunnel in my hands. In my 20s, all of my 20s pretty much, I did car stereo, and I did a lot of crimping and cutting wires and stuff all day long. That profession pretty much finished my hands and my knees because I was always kneeling down working on cars. Best advice I could give to anybody who's in their 20s and 30s: stay off your knees. See that pad over there? Get one. Anytime you have to kneel down, don't kneel down on a hard surface. If you have to get out in the back of a truck or something, or a trailer, don't jump off. Save your body, man. I'm 40 years old, 220 pounds, and let me tell you, you feel every little thing when you get older. So take care of your body now, so when you get older, you don't have all these problems. So which one of these two machines do I prefer? Well, I like them both. And the reason I say that is I like to go back and forth throughout the day. I like to have both of these machines with me. And my wife and I will switch it up. She'll ride this one from 1 yard and I'll ride this one. We don't stay more than 20-30 minutes on each machine. At least I try not to, because I find that's where you don't have those problems that I discussed earlier. Too much of anything is bad for you. I've learned over the years. So by changing it up is the best advice I can give. I can't pick which one I prefer more. As far as how it helps me, health-wise, and how I feel at the end of the day. As far as efficiency goes, they both have their place. This machine is more efficient with the things I've said, like hopping off the machine, open gates, pick up stuff out of your way, getting in little tight spots. It's more efficient in that way. This machine is more efficient because it's faster. Speed-wise and basically cutting-wise, you can just basically go faster. I mean, I think top speed's 12 miles an hour on this versus 10 miles an hour on this. Especially like if you're on a big property, real far away, and you finish mowing and you got to transport back to back to your truck. This machine's going to take a whole lot longer to get there than this one. I mean, you can hightail it on this thing. So I can't really give an answer which one's better. The only thing I could do was come up with a pros cons list. In black and white, the standard wins by a lot. But at the end of the day, it's all in personal preference. So if I had to pick just one, and I was a solo guy, and I had to pick a standard or a zero turn, I think I would go with the zero turn. Simply because if you're doing a lot of weed whacking all day long and using the mower, I think this would fatigue your hands and feet a whole lot more, because you're walking around trimming with your feet, and your hands is, you know, got that going on with the vibration of the trimmer, and I think that's not a good combination. I think you need to be able to go back and forth. With the zero turn, at least, you know, your lower back and back may hurt a little bit from this, but you could rest. So a solo guy, I think a zero turn would be the better choice, in my opinion. The standard would be a good addition to a fleet, I would say. I wouldn't want it as a primary mower, more of a secondary or a backup. All right, guys, I hope this helped. Maybe shine some light on the subject. I just want to give my 2 cents on it. Y'all take care.